It was history before it was history. It was a story before it was a story. And it stands today as a legacy. It stands today as a monument. It stands today as something to reach for.
I've learned that I know nothing about the city I live in. I lived here my whole life and nobody mentioned this Black hospital. So it's interesting that a city so small could have history that meant so much to people, but it's almost completely silent. And I don't think a lot of people in my generation that live here really know much about it.
The Kate Benning Reynolds Memorial Hospital community. A very good story, a very interesting story.
It changed the community. It didn't just change the lives of nurses. It changed the lives of the residents that came from the area that rotated through that facility.
I think I'd always been called to be a nurse. I think nursing is a called profession. And I'd always taken care of sick people pretty much all my life.
The historical value is soul shattering. When I got all of the pictures together and I laid them out and I was looking at them, I felt so responsible because I'm looking at, again, not only their story, but I'm looking at my story as well. And it made me very proud to be an African American.
The Z. Smith Reynolds Foundation announced that they were interested in untold stories. We had several sessions with the community to investigate the history of Winston-Salem and who was connected. We focused in on the story of the KDB Reynolds Hospital, and then we began to design the mural based on that story. That this piece, which is about health in our community's past, can become a tool to build the health and equity in our community in the future.
The hospital came about because of the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company. A lot of people think that it was the wife of R.J. Reynolds who donated money to build a hospital that she always felt the Black community needed. Because of these influx of people moving in from all these different places to work in the tobacco company, they need their own hospital. And so they built this hospital to service the Black community.
I was one of the people that had polio as a child, so I was in the hospital a few times. And actually I came to KDB. I knew then, as soon as I walked in the hospital, that that's what I wanted to do.
It was a wonderful thing because KDB Hospital was a place where you had these Black doctors and these Black nurses and these Black administrators. They all came together and it became a hub where the community connected.
What I'm doing right now for the project is to catch some of the candidates for the KDB Memorial Hospital, the nurses that were here that we can use for the website. What I'm looking for now as a visual artist is the stories of the people in their faces, so that when the residents of Eastwood look up at those people, they can see themselves.
I was so interested in becoming a nurse, even from the age of 6, when my mom was very ill and I would visit with her frequently at a hospital.
This project is important because it shines a light on the communities who were once the backbone of the economic growth of Winston-Salem. It reminds us that there was a thriving community of people who had all the opportunities to become successful, to grow their communities.
Even though the hospital itself is not in operation anymore, the spirit still lives, and you can see it. It just makes me feel good to see that people are still doing this. They're still getting together. Yes, the hospital is gone, but I was a part of that, and I still see it.
There's so much history here in Winston-Salem, and as far as African Americans, and if we don't capture and save these photographs, this will be lost history.
I was a girl who took care of her father when there was no hospital available for my father during a pneumonia episode. My dad was hallucinating and expected to die, withered up, and I sat with him day and night. But he got better, and I thought it was because of me, and I thought that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help really sick people. I'm going to stay with them and do that for them.
Having the history told, because if you don't tell it, you won't know it, and it's important for individuals across the community, across the world, to know what our history has been here in Winston-Salem.
Everything done in that hospital was done by people that look like me. And we have a whole generation of people, young adults, they have no clue. That's what I'm hoping this will do. It will bridge a big gap of two histories, then and now, and it will bring it together.
When I came upon this project, it just reminded me that God is good, and He's good all the time. And sometimes He'll throw you a bone. KDB is one of those bones.
It's very important to preserve this history because as a people, it helps us to come together, all people, to understand the history of our community. Kate Benton left a legacy that if you put an effort and try to get something done, that it can be done.
A friend of mine years and years ago, he said, if you're proud of something, make it big as you can, wide as you can, and as large as you can. Those murals of those particular individual women are murals that I want people to look at them larger than life, because I want your hopes about who you can be and what you want to be larger than life.
This is a forget-me-not. I am worthy of being remembered in the many forms I came. So remember the mark I left and draw another, and one more after that. Frame my picture because my children and my children's children's children need to know. To remember the soils that which the flower blooms, the hands that sculpt the clay. Play the rhythm of time and you'll find exactly what I say. See the notes? I leave those as breadcrumbs to show you your people made a way. Do not fold the corners of the pieces that shape you. Uncrease the corners to discover the different shapes the same, a same that similarly makes you. Life carries on through you, and one day you will say your forget-me-nots too. To say, I am worthy of being remembered in the many forms I came. So remember the mark I left and draw another and one more after that.
Visibly Speaking is a production of PBS North Carolina in association with the Z. Smith Reynolds Foundation.